Welcome to podcasts recorded live at the Center for Spiritual Living in Portland, Oregon. We have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center and its video podcasts, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.
Good morning. Let's all stand together and sing our opening song. The last time this month, yes. It's the lyrics are located in your program on the yellow. It's not necessarily canary yellow. What are we gonna call that, Reverend Larry? Lemon. Oh, okay. Banana. That's better. Banana. Okay. Anyway, we digress. Let's take a breath in as we open our hearts and we go into our celebration service together. Yes. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself. Pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, your joy. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Pour your joy in me. Pour your joy into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, shine your light. Shine your light in me. Yeah. Shine your light into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, shine your light. Shine your light in me. Shine your light into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, dance and smile. Dance and smile in me. Dance and smile into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, dance and smile. Dance and smile in me. Dance and smile into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit, pour yourself in me. Pour yourself into my heart. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Oh, wonderful Spirit. Blessings. May be seated. Yes.
Good morning and welcome to the Portland Center for Spiritual Living. We are a science of mind community that teaches spiritual principles to transform your life and make the world a better place. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. All we ask is that you stay open to the possibility of changing your entire life simply by changing your mind. My name is Nancy Ashley, licensed practitioner here, and I welcome you. So if you're new to the center, hopefully you were given a welcome packet on your way in. This gives us a lot of information about who we are, what we believe in, and what goes on here, and a free copy of the Science of Mind magazine. So we have a lot of things going on for our global audience. Welcome to our Facebook Live audience. I invite you to find out more about us on our website, cslportland.org. And there you'll be able to sign in. And down on the lower right side on the front page, you'll see there is a About Us menu tab, and you can sign in with your name and email address, and you'll be able to scroll down. You'll be able to sign up for 3 different things. So one is our weekly email listing of everything that's going on at the center during the week. We also have the free program called 365 Ernest Holmes by Reverend Larry, and you'll receive a daily Science of Mind Ernest Holmes affirmation in your email inbox every day, with a lovely picture and background information and some reflective material presented by Reverend Larry. And you can also put in your birthday, and you'll get an e-card and a gift on your birthday. So all of those are available at the cslportland.org website. And we have a number of announcements here. Of course, our session here, our service is live on Facebook Live every Sunday at 11 o'clock, but our services are also available on YouTube and podcast later on. So tonight, we have the beginning of our annual Season for Peace and Nonviolence, and the group meditation that will be going on tonight at 6 p.m. on Zoom, Pacific Standard Time, and this will be led by Reverend Marilyn Sprague. This season is very important, especially with all that's going on in the world. We specifically need peace and nonviolence going on. So if you can join us tonight on Zoom, and the link is in our website, we'll kick off the 64-day season, which starts with January 30th was the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi. April 4th was the assassination of Martin Luther King, and the 64 days in between are specifically to focus on peace and nonviolence. So please join us. During this 64-day period, many of our other offerings will be in this on the same topic. So this Wednesday night's meditation, 7 p.m. Wednesday, Pacific time, is being led by licensed practitioner Kathy Batten with a meditation on the theme of caring. So, did I bring it up here? I guess not. In the booklet, which you'll be able to download from our website, every day has a different topic, and the topic on Wednesday is caring. As part of the Season for Peace and Nonviolence. I'll mention that the one for tonight is courage, so we'll be focusing on courage tonight. So we also have our usual Friday lunch with Reverend Larry. This has been going on throughout the pandemic, so we're coming on 2 full years of this. Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, on Zoom, and of course the link is on our website, cslportland.org. So you'll have time for lunch, socializing, and a little bit of spiritual enhancement there. So we also have online groups that will be focusing in the next couple of months on Season for Peace and Nonviolence. So our Social Justice Book Club which is on the first Saturday of the month. So that's this Saturday, and it happens to be facilitated by me. So I'm putting in a plug that the book that we're using this month is this from Desmond Tutu, who also made his transition this week, this month. The book of Forgiving, very consistent with Science of Mind. And then we will be using a Martin Luther King book as one of the March or April ones, and I don't have one with me. And then a fabulous book that we'll be using either in March or April called Brothers in the Beloved Community with Thich Nhat Hanh, who also made his transition last week, and Martin Luther King. So we're really focused on the peace and nonviolence throughout the 60-day period, 64-day period. So with all of that, we also have our Zoom Women's Transcendence 12-step meeting, which is amazing. So any women that would like to join us for any 12-step program, that's link is on our website also. So Reverend Larry is going to tell us about the educational offerings.
Assuming I can adjust
That's
myself
why I took
here.
mine off before I came up here.
You were smart, Nancy. Happy Sunday, everyone. So actually, I want to cover a couple different things. First of all, Winter Connection Circle. So starting next Sunday, we have a whole series of home-based, Zoom-based connection circles. It's an opportunity to take the Sunday message a little further in small discussion groups. And we actually have 6 different groupings, 6 different connection circles that you can be in. There's one on Tuesday evening, Wednesdays at 10 a.m., Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m., Thursdays at 10:30 a.m., Fridays at 9 a.m., and then we're going to have a drop-in one on Sunday right after the Sunday service. So you can be in person, if you wish to, at 12:30 on Sundays. So it all starts next week, and I'm happy to say there's at least 1 or 2 slots in all of those different time periods, so it's not too late if you haven't signed up already. They're pretty full, though. A couple of them only have 1 slot left, but check it out on our website, cslportland.org. There's a button that says Connection Circles, and feel free to sign up one or use the drop-in one on Sunday. The other thing I wanted to talk about briefly is our winter classes. Reverend Marilyn, starting actually on, that's February 3rd, so not much time to register for this one. She's doing a new CSL certificated class, Journey of the Soul. This class offers the principles of science of mind with an emphasis on daily meditation, emotional healing, soul presence, self-love, and a practical application. So that's, it's 6 weeks. It starts on February 3rd on Thursday evenings. And then Nancy and I think it's us, right? We're going to have some fun on February 19th. It's a half-day Saturday workshop on the T word. So if you'd like to learn more about tithing as a spiritual practice, join us on that day. It's 1 p.m. on Saturday, February 19th. And then I'm teaching a perennial favorite that I haven't taught for in maybe 3 or 4 years. It's the spiritual teachings of ancient Egypt. And so my Hermetics class is subtitled Ancient Wisdom for Modern Life. It's a 5-week class on Monday evenings, starting on February 21st. And for those of you who are maybe familiar with the Law of Attraction, that's one of 7 different spiritual laws that the ancient Egyptians practiced and taught. So just to give you a taste of the power of some of the things we'll be learning in the class, we'll cover the Law of Attraction. That one you probably already know, but there are 6 other spiritual laws that the ancient Egyptians practiced that we'll be covering. So hope to see you in one or more things. I do get to visit all of the connection circles, so I'll see you in one of those, and I might see you in a class or a workshop as well.
Okay.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you, Reverend Larry. And I'll just mention that the Hermetics, I've been reading the book, gone through it twice now because there's a lot of deep information in there, but I'm ready for the class. Okay. So, one last announcement is that next Sunday, after our service here, we will be having our first quarterly town hall meeting, and it'll be hybrid, so some of us will be meeting upstairs in the multi-purpose room upstairs, but it will also be online, so you're welcome to join us then. There'll be a 2021 year-end status report and program update, of course, the link is on our website, cslportland.org. So, our flowers, always beautiful, from our own Kat Jacobs. Thank you, Kat. And you've already had a taste of our music today by LaRhonda Steele, our music director, and the wonderful band. So today is finishing up our 4 weeks of Back to Basics, and this includes how to use it with Reverend Larry. And I did find the booklet. So next week we will have booklets here if you want to take one home for the Season for Peace and Nonviolence. So I think that's it. Sit back and relax, because we know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, and the message is exactly what your heart came to receive.
Thank you, Nancy. Reverend Larry. Let's breathe together as we enter our time of sacred meditation. Breathing in and settling down into our heart space as we sing and pray. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world, I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, I'll go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. Go inside to find
And as we go inside, knowing that Spirit, God, whatever we call it, it is everywhere. There is nowhere that Spirit, that God does not exist. It is the love, the wisdom, the peace, the harmony, the wholeness, the unity, the abundance and joy. All of these beautiful qualities are fully present everywhere, in every part of the universe, because God is everywhere. And that means God is within us, in us, as us, through us, and that we are divine, unique expressions of that oneness, and we are vehicles for the expression of all of these qualities. And as Reverend Larry is going to be talking today about how to use it, we know that these qualities are expressions of our lives in our family, in our community, for ourselves, that we are expressing the qualities of God by our thoughts, by our speech, by our actions, that we are vehicles for the expression of all of this. And as we think, as we speak, so does the universe, that law of cause and effect, work with us to create that which we are intending and promoting. And so with peace and nonviolence, as we are creating that in our minds, in our hearts, in our lives, we know that the law is working with us to create more of that in our lives and in the world. And so just giving thanks for knowing that the law is always working with us for the highest and best good that we project. We know that it is all good. And so I give thanks for this, for knowing this truth, knowing that we are co-creators of our lives and of our community. And so I just give thanks for this, and I release my word into the action and activity of the law, knowing that the law of cause and effect, the law of attraction, is working with us always to promote that which we bring forth. And so I release this, I let it be, and together we say, and so it is. And as we go into a moment of silence, meditation, I just invite us to think about how do we want to be vehicles for this expression? What do we want to express in our lives, in our families, in our communities?
Wonderful. Welcome back from the silence. How it works. How it works. How does it work through me? Well, I'll show you how it works through the band and myself this morning. Wonderful song by Eddie Watkins Jr. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Anything is possible when you believe. Anything is possible when you believe. Faith can make a mountain move when you believe. Faith can make a mountain move when you believe. Don't you know that you can change your life when you believe? Oh yeah. Don't you know that you can change your life when you believe? In yourself, you believe. You're gonna make a miracle when you believe.
You're gonna make a miracle.
Everything you want, you got when you believe. That's just how it works. Everything you got, you got when you believe.
You want it, you
Got it in yourself. You believe in yourself. When you believe in yourself, you believe in yourself. You believe. See, I believe in me,
It's a miracle.
and I believe in you.
It's a miracle.
When we believe in each other,
It's a miracle.
there ain't nothing
Such a
we
miracle.
can't do.
It's a miracle.
Come on, Jim. Hey. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I believe in me.
It's a
Yes, I do.
miracle.
I
Such a
believe in you.
Miracle.
When we believe in each other,
It's a miracle.
there ain't nothing
Such a
we
miracle.
can't do.
It's a miracle.
I
Such a
believe in
miracle.
me.
It's a miracle.
I
Such a
believe
miracle.
in you.
It's a miracle.
When we
Such a
believe in
miracle.
each other,
It's a miracle.
there ain't nothing
Such a
we
miracle.
can't do.
It's a
See,
miracle.
I
Such a
believe
miracle.
in me.
It's a miracle.
I
Such a
believe in
miracle.
you.
It's a miracle.
When we believe in each other,
It's a miracle.
there ain't nothing
Such a
we
miracle.
can't do.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle.
Well, that's going to be a hard act to follow, LaRhonda. That's pretty good. Are you sure you don't want to do the sermon today? I think it might be fun. Oh, all right. All right, fair enough. And you don't want me singing either, so. Happy Sunday, everyone. So glad you're joining us today. So Nancy was right. We're closing out our series on Back to Basics. We've been using the Science of Mind textbook by Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind. And really, the person that we take a lot of our historical information and background from. He was a great synthesizer. He brought together the spiritual principles and practices throughout many of the world's religions, refined it, synthesized it, and presented it in a fairly simple form. And in fact, although I know other people love the book, it's in entirety, I swear you could just read the first 4 chapters in this book and you would have the basics. So what we've covered so far this month, in the first week we talked about God. We're in complete alignment with most of the world's religions. We believe that God is all-powerful, all-wise, everywhere present. But we also throw in just a little bit of a ringer. Because God is everywhere, we postulate that must mean that God is everything. And so every person, every place, everything, every situation, every idea, it's all God. Not just that God is everywhere, but God is everything. And so that's where we differ a little bit from some of the other mainstream religions. Week 2, we expanded on the idea of God being everywhere present and everything to make sure that we included ourselves. It is God's good pleasure to work through us. Every day, whether we realize it or not, we're acting on behalf of God because we're part of God. By definition, the things that we do, the things that we think, are God acting out in the world. And I, on purpose, use that phrase, acting out, because it also has that connotation that it doesn't always work well, right? When we see children acting out, it's through their own ignorance, it's through their own unsureness of how the world works, that we can make terrible mistakes through using that same power that we might use on behalf of God to do wonderful things in the world. So it's that double-edged sword. God gives us free will, and then we use it. Last week, Reverend Marilyn talked about the divine creative process. For those of you who are here, you know that she stressed the idea that our thoughts become things. That is the color of our thinking, it is our intentions, it is our creativity in our own minds that create our experience of the world, literally. So if we tend to be on the positive side of life, if we tend to uphold the joy and love and peace and all of the good stuff in life, if that's what's going on our mind, that will more typically be our experience of the world. And conversely, and I've seen a lot of this going around in the last year and a half, if we tend to be complaining about life, if we tend to be rejecting what's going on, if we tend to see the glass as half empty, that will also tend to be our experience of the world. And so our thoughts become things. Well, today I'm tasked with the idea of explaining more about how this works. And I want to share with you part of my own spiritual practice. And I think it's one of the most practical ways to use this law that we learned about last week. Now, I know in Science of Mind, in many of our classes, we learned about meditation. We learned about doing affirmative prayer or spiritual mind treatment. We learned about a variety of contemplations and techniques for getting in touch with our higher power. But the basics of all of them are what Ernest Holmes called building a mental equivalent. All of these various techniques, whether it's saying affirmations or prayer or whatever, the basis of all of them is developing a strong mental equivalent. If our thoughts become things, then how do we create a set of thoughts, an environment of thinking that will tend to produce what we want in our experience of the world? And I'll fall back on Ernest Holmes, who describes it in the Science of Mind textbook here. He says, the whole teaching of Jesus is based on the theory that we are surrounded by an intelligent law which does unto each of us as we believe. He implied the necessity of faith, conviction, and acceptance of our thoughts. We must not only believe, we must know that our belief measures the extent and the degree of our desired blessing. If our belief is limited, then only a little will come to us, because that is as we believe. We call this the law of mental equivalence. How much life can anyone experience? As much as we can accept and embody. So play along with me today. I want to do something I think fairly simple and enjoyable that will give you one of the techniques that I use every day for building a mental equivalent. So close your eyes if you're game, and just sit comfortably in your chair. I'm going to ask you to use your memory and your imagination here for a minute. If you can, think of a time when you felt really successful. Just look back in your memory. It could be just yesterday. It could be back in childhood. Doesn't really matter. Think of a time, though, when you felt just super successful. Maybe you completed some kind of a work assignment with such perfection and clarity that you just felt so good, so successful about yourself. Maybe it's a special event like a wedding day or a day when you captured the heart of someone that you love and treasure. Might be about love, it might be about career. Just picture in your mind, if you can, and even call forth in your mind's eye, what was going on that day? How did it play out? What were you wearing? What was the weather like? Can you picture in your mind that exact day when you felt so very successful? And now just notice in your body and in your emotions how you're feeling. What does that feeling of success actually feel like? Is it a warmth? Is it a sense of confidence? Just notice the feelings that come up when you think of that very successful day or event. Does it make you feel proud? Do you feel accomplished? Is there a warmth in your heart or your head? Just notice the little feelings in your body and in your emotional body. And now what I'd like you to do is come back into the present moment, still keep your eyes closed, and think of an area in your life where you'd like to feel more accomplishment, where you'd like to feel more success. Maybe there's a relationship that you'd like to see some improvement on. Maybe there's a job where you'd like to see some progress, or a project that you're working on that seems to have stalled out. Just picture in your mind, it could be about a relationship, it could be about something that you're working on, a project or at work. It might be success around your home in some activity that you're doing. And what I'd like you to do is visualize yourself as being completely successful in this other endeavor. So the relationship is now completely healed, or the activity has been completed completely successfully. Maybe you got that promotion that you're hoping for. Maybe the next level of intimacy in your primary relationship has been achieved. As best you can, put yourself in that place of success. It is done unto you as you believe. That is the teaching of Jesus, one of the master teachers. And so put yourself into that successful moment in the future. And see if you can bring up that same feeling that you felt a minute ago, that feeling of accomplishment, that feeling of success, that sense of self-confidence, perhaps, or achievement. And know with me that this future event, this future success is granted to you. It is God's good pleasure to give you what you can accept and embody. And right now, in this mental equivalent, you are accepting it and you are embodying it. Okay, you can open your eyes again. Thank you for playing along with me. So this is the key, if you will. This is a very practical and simple way that whenever you want to see yourself being successful at something, and that's really what God works on, when we can see ourselves as accomplishing something, really accept it in our heart. That is what activates our prayers. That's what activates what Reverend Marilyn was talking about last week. It is this mental equivalent and our ability to accept it and see ourselves in it. That's what powers that law of cause-effect. When Reverend Marilyn talked about the divine creative process, this is how we use it. Now, you can use the same basic underlying mental equivalent in doing affirmations. What is an affirmation? What is it, after all, but just a claiming of something that you want to achieve? So you might have an affirmation. I know that my employment opportunities are wonderful and that a job interview is coming my way. Right? You can make an affirmation. The key there, again, once is to have that sense of, yes, I'm going to achieve this. I am going to be successful at that. So it's the combination of both the words, the mental picture, and then in your heart knowing that you are for it, that is for you. It's always the combination of the thought and the emotion that create the outcome that you desire. Now, when I teach this in more depth in, say, the foundations class or something, people will invariably come to me and will say something like, well, I haven't had as much good luck with affirmations as perhaps you're portraying here. I got to tell you, Larry, when I was out of work, I had an affirmation on the mirror every morning and was pretty religious about doing my affirmation. And I got to tell you, a year later, I was still looking for work. So tell me a little bit more about why this seems to work for some people and not for other people. I want to clear that up right away. The spiritual laws work equally for everyone. But I will tell you, there are some things that can put off your good, and generally they're right in our own thinking patterns. Generally, they're right in our own emotional beliefs. And so let's talk for just a minute about some of the fallibility issues here, why sometimes building a mental equivalent doesn't work. And I have to tell you, there's one circulating right now in the consciousness of America that is pretty deep, and that is the non-acceptance of our current reality. We are basically a people of saying no right now. And if we're constantly saying no, it's pretty hard for the yeses to get back in. Now, many of us are imagining that our lives were so much better, so much freer, so much more wonderful, say 2 years ago. And then this thing called the pandemic hit, right? And suddenly we're forced with doing all the kinds of things we don't want to do. We're not able to see some of the people we love as often. We're handicapped by having to wear masks in a lot of social situations. We know loved ones who have gotten ill, some who have even passed away, right? Suddenly the world is so full of no's. No, I don't want to do that. No, I can't get on the airplane and come and visit you. No, I don't feel safe about going on an in-person job interview. So how am I going to get this darn job? It seems like everywhere we turn, we're coming up against life and either saying no or saying not now. And what we have done is really, in many ways, walled us off from our good. It's hard for God to say yes when we're saying no. I know I'm making this overly simplistic, but in some ways it could be thought of as that simple. The good life is still here for everyone if we look for it. And I want to use an example, something that happened to me when I was 7 years old. So my very best friend in the world, Murph, and I know his name isn't Murph anymore, but when I was 7, that was what his family called him. My best friend, Murph, lived next door to us, but the situation of our two houses, there was an immense 50-foot laurel hedge in between the two houses. And so when my friend Murph and I wanted to get together, we literally had to walk almost all the way around the block. And we were used to that and didn't even really think about it. It represented sometimes a little bit of a burden because I couldn't see if he was out in his yard to play. There were some issues about it, one of which was I wasn't supposed to cross the street, I think, was involved a little bit. And so to sneak over in his yard was something that my mom didn't really approve of. Well, anyway, that was just the way we viewed our world, though, right? This was how our friendship was navigating around so that we could play with each other. One day, my mom and Murph's mom got out the hedge trimming equipment, and suddenly there was, and I swear at 7, there was a magic portal between our two houses. I'd like to suggest to you that there is a magic portal right now into the good life, into everything that you're missing, into everything that you would like to explore and like to love. But over the last couple years, you've been trained, well, I got to go around the block. I got to deal with all this stuff. I have to accept a burden of the world right now, and it's preventing me from being playful. It's preventing me from exploring more love. It's preventing me from my success. It's preventing me from seeing the people I love and so forth. And what I'm telling you is you are right next door to those things all along. It just requires us to find a new way of getting there. That way is the mental equivalent. And I'm really encouraging everyone who hasn't signed up for the Connection Circle series this coming up in February. We're going to be using a book called The Thing That's in the Way is the Way. And the thesis of the book is that we are so used to the particular form of getting what we want that when we can't have that anymore, we just feel lost. We feel disconsolate. We feel disconnected from life. I can't do what I want to do exactly in that same form anymore, and so I'm despondent. My life is at an end. I'm feeling lost and untethered. And the idea of the book, and what I would like to suggest is true even today, before we move into next month, is that the goodness of life has not gone away. It is only our ability to access it that is called into question here. We may not be able to find the joy that we desire, the love that we desire, the success that we desire, using the exact old patterns that were handy to us. It's time to get out the hedge clippers. It's time to find a new way. The goodness is still on the other side of that fence. You do not have to worry about somehow the universe drying up. There's still infinite love, still infinite life, still infinite health. All of the things that we might desire to have more success in our life, you name it, it is there because this is an infinite universe. The only thing that is lacking is our own imagination, our own ability to build a mental equivalent of what we would like. And it starts by starting to say yes to things, even the things that we don't like, to acknowledge that they're just part of what living is. Yes, we will be wearing masks when we're together. Yes, we do need to do things differently. Yes, our favorite restaurant closed up during the pandemic. Yes, I'm mostly going to be able to see my grandkids for a while using some kind of electronic technology. Yes, I agree that all of these things for now are necessary, and I'm going to find a way of making my life even more powerful, even more loving, even more joyous, because I know it's there. See, that's what we've, I think, fooled ourselves into thinking, is that because it's not easy anymore, or because it's not the way it used to be, that it doesn't exist. It still exists. The love that you desire is there. The success that you desire is there. The ability to be with the people you love, doing the things you love, is still there. The access is just a little different. The form must be sorted out. It's a call for our creativity. It's a call for our ability to be curious about life. So my favorite restaurant is closed up. They literally went bankrupt during the pandemic. So what's my new favorite restaurant? Maybe it's time for me to stop saying, no, I don't want to deal with this, and instead say, wait a minute. There are an infinite number of ways to find love, to find joy, to find peace, to find all the good stuff. Am I really so limited that I was stuck into thinking if I have to wear a mask, the no fun sign comes out? I think each one of us has the level of creativity in them to find your true heart's desire. So let me review just a moment this idea of a mental equivalent, because I think it's important. First of all, there has to be a clarity of what you actually desire, not the retreat from what you don't want to experience, right? That's the no. We want to focus on the yes. What do you want to say yes to? What does success feel like, look like, sense like to you? Is it success in love? Is it a greater degree of intimacy? Is it a better job? Is it more health? Is it feeling better? First of all, some clarity around what it is that you desire. And then that level of acceptance that we talked about. That's the thing that so often keeps us from experiencing what we want. Can I really accept it? Do I see myself in it? Can I picture myself having it? It is done to us as we believe. I got to believe it. I have to feel it. I have to be able to see myself as achieving it. And then finally, of course, believing in the power of God, having that initial faith that God does respond to each of us. Those are the only 3 steps in success here. And they're pretty simple. Clarity of what is desired, the ability to accept it and see it in your own life, and from that emotional place of, oh my gosh, it is mine. I have it. I feel it. It is my experience. And then just knowing that you can turn it over to the one power that knows how and when and can put together all of the pieces. You don't even need to know how it's going to come to you, because we're going to turn that over to Spirit, that all-powerful, all-wise, all-seeing, everywhere present God. Well, I want to close today with a bit of homework and a reading. So your homework is to work on a new mental equivalent. It might be the one that you pictured in our little bit of a meditation there, but pick something in your life where you'd like to see some positive momentum. So it might be some progress at work. It might be some progress in your health. It might be some progress in something going on in some other area of your life. And see if you can build a mental equivalent. Now, you can do it the way that we did it, through a visualization or a contemplation technique. You could do it through journaling. Simply write out exactly what it is that you would like to achieve. I've had some good luck with that. Doing storyboards is fun. You can cut out pictures and make a collage of your future and how it's to look out in this way of being successful. A variety of ways of building up that mental equivalent, but that's your homework for this week. And I would even recommend, if you're going the journaling route or if you're going the contemplation route of picturing it in your head, I would recommend doing it for 5 minutes every day. Just write about it for 5 minutes every morning. Contemplate it for 5 or 10 minutes every day. You will be shocked at how quickly this desired future can come to you when you have built a mental equivalent. All right, I'm going to close with a prayer, actually. So the very first sample prayer that Ernest Holmes has is in this particular chapter on how to use it. And I'm just going to, through closing, read you this lovely prayer from Ernest Holmes. He says, I am a center in the divine mind, a point of God-conscious life, truth, and action. My affairs are divinely guided and guarded into right action and into correct results. Everything I do, say, or think is stimulated by the truth. There is a power in this word that I speak because it is of the truth and it is my truth. Right action alone has the power, and right action is the power, and God is the power, the living Spirit Almighty in this prayer. This Spirit animates everything that I do, say, or think. Ideas come to me daily, and these ideas are also divine. They direct and sustain me without effort. I am continuously directed. All suggestion of age or poverty or limitation or unhappiness, it's simply uprooted from my mind right now and cannot gain entrance into my thought. I am happy, well, filled with perfect life, and I live in the spirit of truth and am conscious of that spirit of truth living within me. My word is the law. There is no unbelief, no doubt, no uncertainty. I know, and I know that I know. Every thought of doubt vanishes from my mind, that I live in the truth, and that the truth shall set me free. Thank you for being here today. So glad that you joined us. Thank you so much. Now is our time of conscious contribution. If you'd like to take your gift or your tithe, you can place it over your heart. Those of you online, feel free to go to our website at cslportland.org. There's a donate button at the bottom of every page. If you'd like, you can repeat after me. Graciously I give, from a place of love, knowing that as I give, so do I richly receive. Would the ushers please begin receiving the gifts?
Yes, and as we are receiving our gifts, sing along with us our chant, our giving chant, our giving and receiving chant. All right. And it's more than enough. Oh, yes. More than enough. More than enough, more than enough, more than enough, more, much more than enough, more than enough. I am more than enough. I have more than enough. There is more than enough, more, much more than enough, 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 more, much more than enough, more, much more than enough. That is the truth. This is a wonderful song by Karen Drucker. Do you need that, Ken? That paper? Oh, okay. We don't need that. We just played that. Oh, okay, great. This song, I invite you to sing along. I invite you, if you feel like dancing and moving around in these fabulous vessels that we have, keeping your mask on. Please do. Yeah. I got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. Mm-hmm. I got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. Mm-hmm. I got the power, you've got the power, we've got the. Come on, yo. Hey. Ooh, oh yeah. You gotta know it, you gotta feel it. That's how it works, y'all, yeah. I've got the power to make all my dreams come true. I've got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do, no. I've got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me. Every day I'm wasting my time. I'm thinking that someone else is gonna do it all for me. I've got to get up, get out, get it, just get started. Take one step towards my destiny. I'll define my direction with clear-cut intention. ain't nothing we can't do, y'all. Yeah, I've got the power to be anything I want. I've got the power inside of me, yeah, yeah. I've got the power inside of me. Now there are days when I just feel no good. There've been days when I don't even want to try. But when I stop, look and listen and surrender, I hear a voice of truth I cannot deny. It says, you know you can do it, just get down to it. Have faith in yourself and the will to see it through. 'Cause I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do. I've got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me, yeah. I've got the power inside of me. In those times when I feel so frightened and it seems like I just can't go on, I've got to look deep inside, 'cause that's where I find the power, the power, the power inside of me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's inside of you and me. That's how it works, y'all. Come on. Come on and sing it with me. Yeah, yeah. Come on, say, I got the power, you got the power, we've got the power. I got the power, you got the power, we've got the power. I've got the power, you got the power, we've got the power. Hey, I got the power, you've got the power, we've got the power. Power. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, come on up, Sandy. I'll do the blessing. On behalf of the Portland Center for Spiritual Living, I receive these gifts with great love. I know that our vision of a world that works for everyone and our mission of personal empowerment, I know that as we pay our bills and make gifts to other nonprofits, this circle of love expands in the world. I'm grateful for this. I let it be, and so it is. So just a couple very quick reminders. Tonight is the opening ceremony for our Season for Peace and Nonviolence. So you'll want to tune in at 6 a.m. Right on the homepage of our website is the Season for Nonviolence banner that has the Zoom links and everything. So that starts tonight at 6. And gosh bless you. The music was really nice today. I mean, not that it isn't always, but I do love our band. Thank you all. I think it's time for a benediction. So if you'd like, you can stand and join me in this. I invite you just to repeat after me. Something wonderful is flowing through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I know it, I think it, I believe it, I ascribe to it, and just the way that I am. Please know with me that you are never alone. If at any time during the day or during the night, if forgetfulness might creep upon you, I invite you to go within. On that altar of the Most High, you are loved. And in gratitude for this certainty, I let it be, and so it is.
So it is. Right. Our closing song together is also, the lyrics are also on your yellow sheet. The truth of who I am. It's the truth of who I am. If I forget, Spirit reminds me again. I am loved, I am loving, I am loved. Now tell your neighbor, you It's the truth of who you are. Shine your light near, yes, near and far. You are love, you are loving, you are love. Now let's tell the world we are love, we are loving, we are love. We are love, we are loving, we are love. It's the truth of who we are. Shine our light, yes, near and far. We are love, we are loving, we are love. You are love, you are loving, you are love. Now inward, I am love, I am loving, I am love. That is the truth.
If you happen to be in the Portland, Oregon area, we'd love to have you visit in person. The Portland Center for Spiritual Living is located at 6211 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. We have inspirational services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Sunday. We also have many programs, classes, and workshops developed just for our online audience. To find out more, go to our website at cslportland.org and look under the Online tab. We have a variety of content dedicated specifically for our online listeners. Our mission is to open hearts, ignite minds, and make a difference. If you'd like to support our center, you can donate online at cslportland.org/donate. Our website is also the place to learn more about what's going on at the center or to contact us. Allow us to become part of your extended spiritual community. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are most welcome at the Center for Spiritual Living.